I don't know. I can't get it to work. I can't get the intro to work like Boogie Bentley can. Anyway, this is Talkin VAWLS, episode number 111. 111. We're going to talk a little basketball tonight. The basketball, Talkin VAWLS preseason basketball show we're going to do tonight. My name's Vols JP.
And I'm Dauber. What's happening?
Who all we got already in the live chat? Looks like we got a few people that are already in wanting to talk about some basketball. We got Lucas Sharp. Got old Lucas. Appreciate you joining us. He said that they canceled the Charlotte and VCU games, so now our season don't start till December. That is true. That is true. Courtney Holland, she was here early. She was wanting to talk some Vols hoops. We got Boogie Bentley. He's throwing out the emojis. And looks like Courtney and Lucas are the ones that are in the live chat that are talking it up. So we got Ravens fans here. Chris Mann's here. What's up, fellas? We appreciate everybody tuning in tonight, talking a little bit of basketball. Unfortunately, we got some bad news this afternoon when they said that several of the Tennessee staff, players, coaches tested positive for COVID, including head basketball coach Rick Barnes. So unfortunately, the season will not kick off or tip off this Wednesday night against Charlotte. Both games have officially been postponed, canceled. So we're really not for sure when the season is going to start. So, Dauber, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh man, with everything else going on in Knoxville right now, this was a bright spot with a lot of excitement, ready for the old Tommy Bowl to open up and get rocking, even at a limited capacity. But and that's one thing at the top of the show here I want to throw out. This is the Talkin VAWLS basketball show. We're going to leave the dumpster fire that is in Knoxville right now to our Wednesday therapy sessions for our Talkin VAWLS live football midweek show. So I know everybody's all bummed out and depressed, and with the news today, it makes it even worse. But listen, in my notes that I was kind of going through, I put at the very end, what's this season going to look like? What's going to happen, if we've seen cases pop up like we've seen in football? What's that going to mean for basketball? And, man, I didn't think I'd have to worry about anything other than a hypothetical tonight, but that's exactly where we are. We don't really know what this season is going to entail. Personally, I'm not entirely sure how they are going to play anything resembling a full basketball season, considering this is a sport that is played in close quarters. It's played indoors. You're playing right in the middle of the winter, peak cold and flu season. And frankly, the numbers for this virus are surging right now. So my thoughts were, and I sent JP a text. He was going back and forth with me earlier today, and he said he'd seen some guys talking about moving to spring, pushing the tip off of the season. Yeah, that was my first thoughts. Why try to do it right now?
Yeah, because it just seems like that it's just going to be just one of those things where it's just a constant pause, just a constant pause and start up, until hopefully that, everybody can get a better grasp of this COVID and this pandemic and this virus and everything. So I'm with you, Dauber. I would like for these coaches and these universities and athletic departments to try to form some type of agreement on that. And let's just say, hey, let's just pause this thing. And that way that, maybe that we can end up playing all of these games that were scheduled and maybe even more, because all it's going to end up doing is just, you might play 1 or 2 games and then you're done for 14 days or more because of contact tracing and everything like that. And it's not getting any better. I know we're not talking about football, but obviously the football game's canceled this weekend. And I think that you'd told me earlier that Florida and who else had suspended basketball operations. So
yeah, Florida and Ole Miss, they have also paused all basketball activities. They are both dealing with pop-up cases, and that's we really only know Coach Barnes has tested positive, but the reports are it was multiple Tier 1 personnel, and Tier 1 personnel means coaches, student athletes, team managers, and then the support staff as well. So everything I've read on this, what they're doing, they retested everyone today. Everyone that did test positive from Sunday's test has been put in isolation, and they've enacted contact tracing. But just like I was telling you before we kicked off here in the green room, JP, you're talking about contact tracing. If you're put out because of that, it's 10 to 14 days, and that could be a span of you're talking possibly 3 to
4 games,
3 to 4 games.
Yeah.
And like you were getting at, this could be something that really devastates an entire season, because the SEC did build in a week between the regular season ending and the SEC tournament to try to make up games. And I think what they're going to do is the non-conference games are completely open-ended. They're what's going to be flexible, and if they play them, they play them. If they don't, that's what it is. I think the goal is going to be to get the conference games in. It is going to be a headache, and I think that we're really going to see this across the country, multiple conferences, because when you talk about basketball and you talk about multiple games during the week, and you're talking about non-conference games and all the travel that's involved, it's just going to be hard to contain it, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly agree with all that, Dauber. And, it's just going to be something that's going to be interesting to see what plays out here over the next couple of weeks. I know that, who was it? I think Rick Pitino, he's at Iona now, I think. He's been hollering for at least a few weeks now, saying, that basketball needed to, basically postpone until later in the winter, maybe start up back in February and play in February, March, April, and have the tournament in May or something like that. So, there's certainly options there. I mean, I would imagine certainly that the NCAA doesn't want to have to cancel March Madness again this year.
I guarantee you that.
I mean, that's a huge moneymaker for them. So, I would think that they would certainly try to do that. But, as it was shown in football, the problem is these conferences, obviously they don't work together. When before football season started and so many questions around whether or not who was playing or what, I mean, we all saw what kind of fiasco that ended up being, and several conferences coming out and saying that they weren't going to play until the spring or weren't going to play at all, and all of those types of things, and then some of them backtracked and all that. So but that doesn't give me a whole lot of confidence that these conferences can come together. But maybe now, since there's most of the football season is under the belts, and they've had that opportunity to see how that it's affected football. Maybe that there will be a chance that they will come together and maybe have an agreement that they do decide to just postpone this until later, beginning of 2021, somewhere around January, February, and hopefully that that we can have some form of a basketball season, because I just don't see how that it's going to continue this winter with all this that's going on.
Yeah, definitely headache. Got some questions in there. A couple people asking, so when will the season actually start? The first two games are what they have canceled or postponed. So that would be the Charlotte and the VCU game that were scheduled for this Wednesday and this coming Friday. That would put it the first game potentially being December 2nd against Gonzaga. So that's opening up on the road, and I believe that is the Jimmy V Classic in Indianapolis. And I'd seen that it was announced a week or so ago that there would be no fans for that anyway. But that's all tentative. This is, I guess, a very fluid situation, and we are waiting. The team and the players, coaches, staff, whoever tested positive from Sunday's round of testing, they were retested today, and we should know the next couple of days if they're false positives or if they are actually positives. If they are positives, then I'm going to go ahead and go out there and say that you're probably looking at the Gonzaga game also being postponed or canceled, and that would put the Cincinnati game
December 12th,
the following week, December 12th. The opener. But like I said, I really think that these non-conference games are going to be the ones that get axed. So they can try to play a conference slate.
We got some folks asking about getting retested and so forth like that, and yeah, I mean they test 3 times a week, I believe it is
3 times a week, just like football. I think it's Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
With that. So I guess what makes me feel like that there is some, obviously, quite a few positives that are going around it is the fact that originally when they came out today and said that they were, suspending basketball operations, or, they were, not practicing, having any team functions or anything like that. Originally, they came out and said that they would make an announcement tomorrow in regards to Wednesday and Friday's games. Well, then later on this afternoon, they came out and they effectively canceled those games. So that makes me feel like, that they got some additional information probably that was like, no, this is not going to work.
Right.
So it's very unfortunate, certainly, the health of all of those folks involved, Barnes, I mean, I'm sure, with his age that he would be in the high risk category. And of course, we know Fulmer's got it. They announced that there late last week, that he's tested positive and stuff. So, certainly, we want all those people, all those coaches, players, all of them, anybody that's been affected by this virus. We certainly thoughts and prayers with them, and hope that they are able to have a full recovery and start feeling better soon, for sure. So with that, but
I tell you what, though, you're depressing me. You're depressing me. Let's get into talking about this team, though.
Well, yeah.
And when they do get on the court.
Because I know, and I mean, I was so pumped. Yeah. I mean, I was so pumped about Wednesday night. I mean, us Tennessee fans, there's not been a whole lot to get excited about this fall, for sure. And And the one thing that we were thinking about that was going to be exciting was this basketball team, and not only what was coming back, but what was new. I don't know if I've ever heard as much hype surrounding a Tennessee basketball player as far as what that Keon Johnson has brought in. I mean, it's just amazing, and of course, I want to temper my expectations because I know last year, before the season started, everybody was, you was hearing these wonderful things about Josiah James and obviously, I mean, he had a good freshman year, but certainly wasn't the year that Tennessee fans were certainly hoping for, and I'm sure he himself either. But just what Keon Johnson, the excitement around him, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, there's talk of him, potentially being, top 5 lottery pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly this kid can jump out of the gym. I mean, supposedly he can absolutely jump out of the gym. And one thing that I was reading about him is the fact that he loves playing defense. So that excites Barnes for sure. Dauber, let me hit this. We got a new member to the network here. Let me get over here and get Charles Lutz. Charles, we appreciate you joining the network on YouTube. If anybody's interested in that, you can join, and you get access to those emojis Biggie Bentley is throwing out there of the Talkin VAWLS crew. So we certainly appreciate it, Charles. Appreciate your support. While I'm at it, we got a super chat $1.99 from Mr. Ty Myers. Does Boogie not like basketball? Ha ha ha. No, Ty. He says that he follows it occasionally, but he would rather just be miserable and just follow the football team mainly. So, he's the brains behind this, and all this stuff. Obviously, I couldn't even get the intro to work tonight. So, but as far as that goes, I don't think he has a lot of brains as far as selecting sports teams, because he won't hardly watch the basketball team, and that's about the only thing that's going good down there. So, but anyway, Ty, we certainly appreciate it, and certainly appreciate all the support. Scenic saying Pons and Keon on defense is going to be nasty. Yeah, I mean, as far as what Tennessee has returning, John Fulkerson, preseason All SEC, him and Pons both.
Yep.
With the improvement that Fulkerson showed last year, and the improvement that Pons shows, I mean, just imagine if those kids, end up, 15% better than they were last year. I mean, the sky's the limit for these kids. So, and of course, I mean, I love the way that Fulkerson plays. I mean, he's just a battler, and, just always just 110 mile an hour. So, you got to love his effort.
Motor that does not quit. Yeah, you've got Fulkerson and Pons were both also listed in the top 100 players preseason for CBS. Fulke was number 28, and Pons was number 29. And honestly, I can see a couple of other guys off this team cracking that list during the season. Fulkerson's on the watch list for the Karl Malone Power Forward of the Year, and Pons is on the watch list for the Julius Erving Small Forward of the Year, as well as the initial 50-person watch list for the Naismith Player of the Year award. So that's pretty big to crack that list right there preseason. I mean, you are talking about the defending Defensive Player of the Year in the SEC. And he went, what was it? The last 20 plus games with a block.
Yeah.
He averaged, I think it was just under 3 blocks a game. It was like 2.8 blocks a game, something like that, last season. So And honestly, he came as a freshman. Was seldom used, kind of a role player, and has evolved into. He actually kind of, I think, flirted with leaving last year.
Oh yeah,
decided to return. So he's a key returner for this team, and he's still a raw talent. I think he only played a couple of years of organized basketball in France. Came over just, oh my goodness. Did you see the picture? I guess back maybe late summer of the
with
basketball.
the basketball team with their shirts off.
Yeah.
That dude is.
I think I know we're not supposed to be talking about football, but maybe Pruitt can get a couple of these guys, and that might help help the guys over in Neyland out a little bit.
It wouldn't matter. He wouldn't play him. He wouldn't play him. He doesn't practice well enough.
He doesn't practice it right. But no,
no.
You look at these guys and the work they've put in. We've talked about Fulkerson and Pons, and a little bit about Keon Johnson. You got Jaden Springer coming in as well, another 5-star kid.
I know. I mean, how crazy is that to think that Tennessee has a 5-star top 15 recruit in the nation that more than likely is not even going to start for this team.
Right.
Certainly, that could change as the season goes on, and he starts to develop and stuff. But that's just the depth that this team has, especially at the guard position. I mean, I think Barnes was talking the other day. He feels comfortable with like 5 of the players essentially bringing the ball up the court. I mean,
and I think that's going to be awesome, because that means they're going to push it.
Well, yeah. I mean, you would certainly think that that we're going to run a whole lot this year. Mm-hmm. You would certainly think so. This should certainly look more like what the 18-8 or the 19-20 or the 18-20 team with Bone,
mm-hmm.
that made it to the Sweet 16, obviously, and stuff like that. So guard play is just so important in college basketball. And the fact that we got that transfer from Oregon, Victor Bailey. I mean, any other normal year, you would expect him to come in and start for this basketball team. So, those are the reasons why that there's so much excitement around this basketball team and, the possibilities for this team. Certainly there's going to be some growing pains once the season does start. These kids are going to have to, the ones that are coming in new, they're going to have to, learn and grow as a team. But certainly the actual ability and the athleticism of this team, has the potential to be the best team that Tennessee has ever put on the court.
Absolutely. You talked about Josiah James earlier. I think he is going to come into his own this year. He was hampered by I think it was a nagging groin injury. He actually missed a couple games, and then it kind of came out late in the year that this was something that bothered him pretty much all year. The other thing, I think he was a bit uncomfortable playing kind of out of position for him when they were looking for the offense to run through him. I think with the guys that we've got there now, he'll be able to play on the wing at kind of his more natural position and create a little bit more from there, move without the ball. Matt 2318 with a question. Who do you think the starting lineup's going to be? that it could be. You've got 4 returning starters from last year.
Yeah, so definitely pencil in Fulkerson, Pons, Keon Johnson. I think that it'll be Vescovi and Josiah James to start.
Yeah.
Now, will Jaden Springer end up, taking one of those guard spots? That's a good possibility. A lot of reports are coming in that Vescovi, we talked about it on here last year, the fact that he was just thrown into the fire. I mean, literally, was here for what, 2 days
Got
was
into
the
the
starter
country
against
and thrown into
LSU.
the starting lineup. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you would automatically assume, I mean, even though that, COVID has certainly caused havoc with these kids being able to practice together and those type of things. You would just imagine that he's in much better shape and has such a better grasp of the offense, the defense, and just what Pons want. I mean, Barnes wants. So I'm pumped about seeing Santiago Vescovi, because I thought last year that some of his ball handling, and yes, I mean, he had a lot of turnovers, but he is a wizard with that basketball for sure. I mean, he is fun to watch.
Yeah, he definitely, like you said, got thrown into the fire. Pretty much stepped off the plane and put into the starting lineup. But he also had to adjust to a different style of basketball, though, coming from the NBA Global Academy, and playing that international style of ball is a little bit different than NCAA basketball. There's that Euro step and some of those things that kind of hampered him a little bit earlier. Old Teddy Valentine. I'll give him a little bit of credit, because you saw him talking to Vescovi a couple times, as they broke for a media timeout or going into a break. And I think kind of explaining some things. I think Vescovi, as well as James, in their second year under Barnes, they're going to settle in and be more comfortable. And I look for them to really, really contribute to this team. Add in, you threw out Victor Bailey earlier. He's going to be a spot up 3 guy, instant offense. I think averaging 37% from 3-point range. And then EJ Anasicki, another transfer.
Yeah,
I guess
and
transfer.
Yeah, and I think that he's certainly gonna play a key part in Tennessee's success this year, because last year, remember, there wasn't a whole lot behind Fulkerson.
Right.
I mean, there was a lot of those games that Fulky was having to play, 35 to 38 minutes, and so I think that with Anasicki coming on board, I think that he can certainly fill in down there low. That's going to be one of the challenges, for this basketball team. Certainly is, still there's not a whole lot of big size. I mean, we got Uris Plazovic, and I mean, who knows? I mean, I know last year, that was the big thing that the NCAA went and granted him the waiver, and he finally got the waiver, but and played, but obviously, he didn't live up to the excitement that we were hoping for with that. But that's the thing about Rick Barnes. He has proven time and time again that he can develop the talent. Something that
he gets the most.
Other programs down there in Knoxville need to take heed.
He gets the most out of what he has. And that's been the biggest thing I've been impressed with him, in the time he's been down there. You look at the season 2 years ago with Williams, Schofield, Bone, Alexander. Those guys were not super heralded big names. They put in the work, and they what made them so good is they played well together. They meshed well together and played as a team, and they were fun to watch. Last year was a bit disappointing, and I think everybody kind of fully expected a bit of a step down or a drop off from the previous year with those guys leaving out. But 17-14 overall, 9-9 in conference play. So you're 500 in conference play. I see we've got a old Kentucky fan in here in the chat talking.
It's basketball season when the Wildcats show up, don't you?
Yeah,
it's basketball season. I figured that whoever that is, I figured that they still had their tail tucked between their legs after that 60-point beatdown they took at the hands of Bama on Saturday.
I mean, it's kind of funny. We are the winningest program against Kentucky, and I love playing Kentucky. It's a good measuring stick for where our program is to be able to play them twice a year. It's a good rivalry. I love going down there to old Rupp and coming out with a W. I think we've got the most wins there, other than Kentucky. We tend to play Kentucky pretty tough.
Yeah, I think Bluegrass showed up because he knew that Fulkerson was his daddy. So I think that's why he showed up. But anyway, we're not going to get on to that troll. So, yeah, it's officially B-ball season for sure. Wayne's asking about Kamwa.
Yeah.
I think that he's one of those that was thrown in last year. And certainly, who knows? I mean, I think that he'll get some playing time, but I think with Anasiki coming on board, I would imagine that he's not going to get as much playing time. And then, somebody else is Gaines. There was a lot of times Gaines came in last year and really gave this basketball team a spurt. He's so long and athletic and stuff. So I'm really excited about him. Certainly he needs to put some weight on. Hopefully that he can bulk up some and stuff like that. But those are two there, Kamwa and Gaines, that who knows? I mean, they may end up being able to redshirt, but I guess that this year doesn't even matter though, because I think that they've already announced that it's the same thing. So technically, all of these kids could come back next year, even the seniors. So with that, so in essence, it all is a redshirt year.
Throw another guy out there, Drew Pember. He saw some minutes last year and played well at times. He's another one of those guys that I think needs a little bit more size, but he came in and played well when he was in there. But this team is so deep, and I think that is the thing that is really impressive. We threw out kind of a projected starting lineup. I don't know that when we play the first game, the starting five that game is going to be the starting five at the end of the season, because I fully expect some of these guys to take off, and that could leave Barnes with a short bench. He could play 6, 7, 8 guys heavy in the rotation, and then leave a couple guys to kind of, like you said, possibly redshirt, or if this is a throwaway year like we're looking at for football, then continue to develop. Because the reality of it is, you look at Springer and Keon Johnson, that they are possibly one and done first round picks, the both of them, and that's another guy that we've not talked about is Weidman, Malachi Weidman. He's on the team too.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing about that though is I just don't see how somebody can actually play two sports with the way that they do that, and especially with what talent that Tennessee has down there. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but
Well, you look back to last year and look at losing Lamonte Turner. 5-6 games into the season, and how that kind of early on threw the team into kind of a panic, putting Josiah James out of position, running the point, and then like we talked about, you had Vescovi coming in immediately and in the country for a couple of days, and then in the starting lineup. You want to go ahead and hit that super chat there?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Bluegrass Sports Media. Hey, Bluegrass, we certainly appreciate you supporting the Tennessee Athletics podcast. We certainly appreciate that. Any of you guys want to bet the UK Tennessee game? No, since you can only afford $1.99 super chat, I doubt that you would honestly ever pay up. So, but we certainly appreciate the $1.99 super chat, and we certainly appreciate the support of the Talkin VAWLS network. Somebody's asking about Euros, I think. Euros Placevic, I think. Yeah, and Troy saying that they sucks. I mean, we got to give him a chance.
Small sample size.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think that he impacted the games he was in equal to his 7-foot size. He played kind of soft for a 7-footer, but there was a lot of uncertainty, and then the NCAA really screwed him with how they handled that. It was a case that kid lost a year of eligibility because they drugged their feet until January. Into January, I think, was when he was finally cleared. So there's a lot of uncertainty, and it was just a weird situation. I think given the small sample size, given the, he's got a full year in the program now. We'll see. Jury's still out on Euros.
Yeah. I mean, certainly, he's got, he's definitely got the size. So, we'll see what he ends up like. Like I said earlier, I mean, that's one thing that you got to give Barnes credit for is certainly, him being able to, develop these players. We've seen it. I mean, we've seen it over and over and over since he's been down there. So, with that, so we got Kyle Tressman. He says, man, this mouse of mine is just not working good at all. I'm gonna have to invest in some better quality equipment, Boogie. You're gonna have to start paying more. I'm gonna end up having to be the lead on these basketball shows. Kyle said he was busy tonight, probably in the gym working out, if I had to guess, based on his profile pic. But appreciate the support, Kyle. Certainly appreciate you. Glad to see you in that. So what else, Dauber? What else do we need to talk about this basketball team?
Well, we've got Matt 2318 throwing up, are the schedules out yet? Yeah, the schedule's out. The schedule's kind of tentative and flexible, I guess is the best way you can put it. And honestly, we talked about it at the top of the show. I believe that the non-conference games are going to be the first ones to get scrapped. so that they can try to play a full slate of conference games. So even that Kansas game, kind of the latter quarter of the season, they're supposed to come into Knoxville for a rematch of us going out to Allen Fieldhouse last year. I think that may even potentially get scrapped, just so they can squeeze in as many conference games as possible. I think we've got what was it? Five? Is it 5 home games, 5 away games in the conference? Is that what? Let me see.
Well, there's more conference games than that, right? We're playing a full conference schedule, or scheduled to. They should be 9 and 9, should they not? Aren't they playing 18 conference games?
Yes, it's 9 and 9. You're right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I guess maybe I was thinking about football.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be one of those things. The season is going to be fluid and kind of in flux as the entire NCAA is dealing with this and adjusting and changing on the fly. I guess it's just going to be one of those things. I think the complications and issues for this season are going to have to be dealt with on a conference level and then on a NCAA level. And like you said at the top of the show, the NCAA is they're wanting to try to get as much of a season in as possible. That way they can have March Madness and the NCAA tournament, because that's a cash cow.
Oh yeah. I mean, they definitely, they don't want to have to cancel that again for sure. So I mean, hopefully that will end up, somehow we'll end up being able to get this basketball season going, and we can, get some form of positive, going with this basketball program. We can get these games in. We can have a season, even if we have to push it back. I hope that they do everything that they can to try to get this season in for sure.
With that, we've got a couple things. You want to tell them about the Indy Kids, what he's doing?
Yes. Indy Kid is going to do a show called Orange Blazer. He's going to plan on releasing it every Friday during basketball season. It's going to be talking obviously about the basketball team, kind of like he does with the day after for the football team, but kind of just a short 10 to 15 minute wrap up from the previous week, just talking about the basketball team. So it's going to be called the Orange Blazer, and we'll get those rolled out. Indy Kid will get those rolled out as soon as obviously, once the basketball season starts and everything. So we'll just have to see. I mean, like Dauber said, it's just going to be one of those things that are just touch and go, and hopefully that we can get to playing sooner than later. But the main thing that I want them to be able to do is to be able to play as much of a normal season as they possibly can. That's what's so frustrating about this is, this team has tons of talent. Everybody's excited, and now we're having to, possibility of, not playing at all, or, a lot of games end up being canceled and not being able to see this roster actually out there playing. So that's the frustrating part of it.
Yeah. And we are going to be live weekly. I think we're going to try to stick with Monday through the football season, and then we may kind of inherit the regular Wednesday nights, or see what works best. I
Yeah.
know they've got a couple of Wednesday night games. We took Wednesday last season and it kind of worked, but we may kind of play it by ear. So make sure you like and subscribe, and go ahead and click the bell to get notifications for when we go live and when we post when we're going to be back on.
Troy's wanting to go 6 on Mondays. Troy, man, I got work.
JP would never make it.
I would never make it. I mean, I'm lucky to be signed on at 7. So yeah, it'd be hard for me.
That is the truth. That is the absolute truth.
Hey, better late than never, right?
Absolutely.
Better late than never. Bobby Taco is wanting to bring back Dooley. Oh Lord. Shoo. No thanks on that.
I'm going to go ahead and throw it out here. I don't know that we'll have a show next Monday unless something comes out and there is more news to this COVID deal. I just don't see a whole lot of anything to talk about other than speculation. And there's enough speculation and talking heads going on with the team just down the road from Thompson Bowling, across the street there. But what do you think, JP? Are we going next week or not?
I mean, I think obviously, I mean, that's going to be dependent on whether or not that we see if they're going to play Wednesday against Gonzaga. We will. If we find out that they're going to plan to play against Gonzaga, we will go live and we'll talk about that matchup some. But otherwise, I mean, there's really not much to really talk about until they start playing. So with that, so we'll see. Troy said that it's actually starts at 6 his time. He's an hour, so he's in the central time zone. So I understand what you're saying now, Troy. I certainly understand that. He must be from down in middle or West Tennessee, I assume.
Yep.
That's where he's at. And Courtney's wishing everybody happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, you, Courtney. Hope everybody stays safe out there for sure. I know it's going to be interesting. All these families getting together with all this craziness that's going on.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Kevin Bear throwing up Cincinnati right out of the gate. Could be Gonzaga. Could be number 2 Gonzaga on the road right out the gate. Either one of those is going to be a tough matchup. What
was the deal with the Notre Dame game? They're on some schedule showing for December the 4th, I think.
Yeah. Everything that I've read on that is the game has not been confirmed. And if you look at the Gonzaga game, it was just last week or the week before that one was confirmed. And that's what I said. The whole deal with the non-conference games. I think they are going to be the ones that are most flexible on the schedule, and I wouldn't be surprised if you have a couple of those that are changed, dropped, or maybe even added, just to try to get games in and like we talked about, some semblance of a normal season.
Yeah. We got Chris Mansfield asking about Kennedy Chandler. Yeah, I mean, he's certainly another top signee that Tennessee just inked for the 2021 season, and certainly excited about him. One of the top point guards in the nation. So I mean, that's Barnes has proven he's starting to pull these kids in. So
I never thought that Tennessee would be getting guys of that caliber, guys that could be a one and done. Because that's just not been our MO. I mean, we've had some really good players. We've had some players that are really fun to watch, but that elite talent it's really not been there. You go back to, um, Vincent Yarbrough. We've only had a handful of McDonald's All-Americans.
Oh yeah.
Let alone talking about top 20 guys in the country.
Yeah. Brian Robertson's wanting to know who's going to replace Bowden. I mean, I would assume that's going to be Keon Johnson. I mean, that's what I think. I think that that Keon is going to take that spot. So with that, that's what I would imagine. And I mean, certainly Bowden was he was a great player at Tennessee. He went through some streaks there. He's kind of streaky and stuff, but local kid, always there, ready to compete and give his all for Tennessee. So, he had a great career. Certainly hated that, it was cut short last year because of, or this past spring because of the COVID and stuff like that. But that's who I would expect to be the main replacement for Bowden would be Keon Johnson is what I would think. So Chris is saying that we ought to do some predictions for the Tennessee basketball season. I think my computer is like, I don't know if I'm delayed on your guys' ends, but it's extremely delayed. I'm gonna have to do some hardwiring or something to continue to do this. This is really messing me up. But anyway, Chris says that we should start doing predictions for the Vols b-ball games this season. Give out some stickers instead of only doing football predictions. We may do that, Chris.
We can probably put something together and do that. Yeah. We'll get Boogie to shell out some Talkin VAWLS money, and we'll buy some stickers, and we'll see about that.
Somebody's wanting to know over under 5 losses for the season. Well, Sanic, I was going to say I was actually going to say probably about 5, but the problem is now we don't know how many games that we're actually going to play. I mean, I would think on average, if it was probably a 30 game schedule, I could see this team, potentially going 25 and 5. But
yeah, I agree with you there. I looked at the schedule and went back and forth today, and then, like you said, when things were first announced, they were still planning on, or they hadn't announced that the games were postponed at that point. And then, a couple hours later, they go ahead and make that announcement that they dropped the Charlotte and VCU game this week. I just it's so hard with the situation going on right now. I don't know. I would say if they play like you said, 20 games, 5 is probably a good number. If they lose more than that, then you've got a lot of things going wrong. They might be taking too many cues from the football team. You okay there?
I apologize. Golly. I got the coughing and can't stop. You may have to wrap this show up, Dauber.
Do we need to put you in contact tracing? Get you tested. Do you have anything else? All right.
No, I'm good. Finish it up. Take us home.
All right. We'll put out. We'll let you guys know if we're going to be on next week. Once we figure out if the Vols will be playing December 2nd against Gonzaga. If they do that, we will definitely go live and preview that game because that's a big matchup. Definitely looking forward to it. If not, we will definitely be live. I couldn't see them unless things just really go south postponing much past the Cincinnati game, which is December 12th. So just make sure you click like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and that way you're up to date and you know when we're going to be on. You guys make sure you tune in on Wednesday when we'll get Boogie Bentley back, and me and Vols JP will be talking about the mess that's going on in Knoxville with the football team. And man, if you guys missed the post game from the Auburn game, go back and check that out. We did something really cool towards the end of that chat. We streamed Pruitt's post game press conference live and kind of talked about that. I really like that. I really like the interaction that we had. Good interaction tonight with you guys in the chat. We'll work on trying to follow that a little bit better. And, you guys run this. So we appreciate you tuning in. And you got anything? JP, you're muted.
You got to answer this question.
Troy Lee, I'm not a beer guy. I'm a rum guy. Had a couple of bad experiences in college down in the fort, and it just kind of turned me off of beer. So I don't know, but I can put down some rum though.
All right.
Yeah. Chris Mansfield throwing out one more thing, and there is a mess in Knoxville with the football program, but you got to look at the basketball. You got to look at women's basketball. I think they're possibly turning things back around after the kind of downturn they've had the last few years. And the baseball team, man, their season was cut short last year too, and I think that they were going to be
pretty good last year.
And I think they're still going to be good this year. And of course,
I just hope we can hang on to Tony Vitello.
Yeah, definitely. You've got some good things going on in Knoxville, and that is.
It's time to quit the show, right, Donald?
It's time to quit the show. Let's wrap it up. Circle the wagons.
All right. We certainly appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Like Dauber said, we'll be back talking about basketball. Hopefully next Monday night, as long as they decide to if Tennessee can play. But until then, Dauber, you're going to finish it up. I'm coughing again.
All right, we've only got one thing left to say. That's go Big Orange. And get better, JP.